a top general in the Israeli military. What if I told you that just like with the Iraq War, this is a cover, and the real issues that the United States and Israel and the rest of the West have with Iran have little to do with nuclear weapons. This is not something that's so hidden. In fact, if you check the dialogue on the issue, they'll tell you exactly what their goals with Iran are. Like, for instance, with Joe Biden's administration getting back at the JCPOA, they're constantly talking about Iran's missile programs and their offensive and defensive capabilities and how they are producing new types of weaponry. And on top of that as well, their partnerships inside of the Middle East, which the United States and Israel claim cause instability and also undermine their strategic hegemonic endeavors inside of the region. So it makes sense that the United States and Israel would be mad at Iran for supporting groups like Hamas in the Gaza Strip or Hezbollah in South Lebanon, both of which present strategic threats to the number one ally of the United States in the region. On top of that as well, the United States doesn't exactly feel secure about Iran's missile capabilities, which at the moment will be able to deliver payloads into Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, or pretty much any U.S. base inside of the region. So this is something that really does actually mean something to the United States and Israel, is deterring Iran from supporting their allies inside the region, whether they be Yemen, Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq. It's all places which the United States and Israel don't want Iran to have any involvement in whatsoever. So at this point you may be asking, why is he saying that nuclear weapons aren't a factor here? Because they could present a threat to Israel or maybe even the United States in the region. But what we have to understand is that with Israel, even if Iran did develop a nuclear weapon and it did have a nuclear weapons program, which all the authoritative sources claim does not exist, it is very unlikely that Iran would strike Israel with a nuclear weapon just because of the importance in the Islamic religion of the Holy Land, and also the fact that if they were going to commit a genocidal act like that as well, they kill a lot of Palestinians. Iran has sworn that using nuclear weapons is something that is prohibited Islamically, and on top of that as well, the only country on earth to ever have used a nuclear weapon is the United States, and Israel is the only country in the region with nuclear weapons which doesn't state that it has nuclear weapons and also has not signed the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Israel has been tracked at developing its nuclear facilities. They're actually enlarging, according to aerial photographs of Israel's facilities. Yet the United States is not concerned about this whatsoever, despite the fact that Israel threatens its neighbors almost on a daily basis. And the other thing to note here is that Iran is portrayed as a radical, crazy group of terrorists, but even when their nuclear scientist, Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, was just killed last year, assassinated by Israel, Iran didn't actually respond with anything. So if Iran was a country that just wanted the genocide of the Jewish people that are living inside of Israel right now, why wouldn't it take any opportunity possible to it? Because they do have the capabilities of really hitting Israel hard and killing an enormous amount of people in that small territory. So we're looking at another situation here where the United States is not being truthful. The U.S. Biden administration is not recognizing the fact that it is the United States that unilaterally withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal. A deal which was signed, by the way, from a Western perspective to stop Iran from developing nuclear capabilities. Just like for the launch of the Iraq War, there's a lot of deception that's going on in order to justify the aggression against Iran, which is enabling sanctions which are killing the Iranian people.
As the U.S. Biden administration approaches the issue of re-entering the Iran nuclear deal, it presents excuses as why it can't lift its sanctions and rejoin the deal. But is the hesitancy of the U.S. to re-enter the deal really just about the fears of Iran developing nuclear weapons, or is it or is there something else?
Shalom. That was relating to RT. Does Israel and U.S. fear Iran over nuclear weapons, or is there something else? And that relates to pretty much the hesitancy or being hesitant relating to re-entering certain trade and matter deals. That's an RT report. I'm going to get Job 15 and 35. It's Job 15 and 35. They conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepareth deceit. That's the wicked. Mischief, deceit, and vanity, man. So that all relates to all the deception, man. Proverbs. I'm going to get Proverbs 6, 17, and 18. It's Proverbs 6, 17, and 18. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. That's the wicked, man. And a heart, number 18, and heart that devises wicked imagination. So they devise to have counsel and how to imagine to do certain things. And at heart that devises wicked imagination, feet that be swift in running to mischief, man. I'm going to go to Proverbs 24 and 2. It's with that wicked imagination, man. Part of that wicked imagination, of that counsel of that wicked imagination, how to imagine and do stuff, they also study it. This is number 2. For their heart study of destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. So that's that deceit, man. Their lips talk of mischief, man. Part of that could be telling you, the mass media telling you certain things that may not be, let's say, 100% accurate. It also goes with relating to media manipulation, Operation Mockingbird, man. Media is that tool, that weapon to control the narrative. A narrative of what they want to put out to make the people believe what they want them to believe. Let me read that again. For their heart study of destruction, their lips talk of mischief. Study of destruction, man. They want to outdo what they did previously, man. They want to be the best relating to implementing certain things, and so they study it carefully, methodically and meticulously, so they can implement it. And that's the wicked. What else? That was just a few verses, something real fast on that. Now relates to, again, RT. Does Israel and Iran fear U.S.? Shalakia. Does Israel and U.S. fear Iran relating to nuclear weapons? Or is this something else? That being said, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakah Kadash, Kahaliyah, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakah Kadash. The water for listening. Shalom. Thanks.